Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Sarvebhya Namaskaraha. Today I am going to summarize Sargas 52, 53 and 54 of the Yuddha Kanda. I just came across a beautiful shloka. Abhinandama Vaidehim Karavasa Tapasvinim Yam Vimochayitum Setum Karayamasa Raghavaha. So Sri Rama built this wonderful, unprecedented, unheard of bridge over the ocean with the help of Vanaras to go and save his devoted and holy, saintly wife Sita in Lanka, where she was imprisoned. As we read the Yuddha Kanda, one thing is very clear. On the one hand, we have Rakshasas who are basically advanced, sophisticated beings with a lot of power, technology, weapons, and evil intentions, and extremely heartless. That is the nature of Rakshasa. So it is like a man has become very powerful and he has become so arrogant and so merciless. That is the nature of Rakshasas. Vanaras, in my opinion, represent nature. Nature is all powerful. Even the best army, if it goes and stays in the mountains and there is a avalanche or there is a deluge of snow or there is a huge rain and earthquake, they cannot do anything. The Vanaras represent to me the power of nature. Nature is teaching a lesson to evil human beings. This is the battle. And the battle descriptions in Valmiki Ramayana have been stated by Valmiki when? At least 5,000 years ago. This is so beautifully documented in such great detail with regard to the weapons, the technology, the way people fight, one-on-one, one army against another army, how they launch weapons. When all this is described, we get a graphic picture. I would like to make my statement, this is my opinion, all the battle descriptions, all the war scenes that we see in movies, in theatre, in kavyas, subsequently, they have all been inspired by Valmiki Mahashaya. Now let us look at Sarga 52. Dhumraksha has entered the battlefield with a huge army and lots of weapons. A terrific battle starts. There is a clash of huge trees launched by Vanaras, meeting with maces and tridents and lances of the Rakshasas. There are many casualties on both sides. The Rakshasas are shooting fierce arrows and attacking the Vanaras. This only makes the Vanaras more enraged and powerful. They now escalate their attacks and throw even bigger boulders and be even more violent. They start smashing the Rakshasas, proclaiming their own names in victory. Every time a Vanara kills a Rakshasa or destroys a group of Rakshasas, he proclaims his own name, like Jai Panasa, like that. The Vanaras have the upper hand. Dhumraksha sees this and he decides to act. He starts reversing the fortunes. He starts killing Vanaras mercilessly. There is a river of blood. Vanaras begin to die gruesome deaths, or they are hurt and they run away. The battlefield is soon filled with corpses. Valmiki says that the battle produces an eerie kind of music. There is a kind of music of this war which is scary, macabre in its import and gut-wrenching in its spectacle. We have to deal with it in our imagination. Hanuman sees what is happening. He lifts a huge boulder and rushes towards Dhumraksha. Hanuman has reddish eyes. He is enraged, he is spewing rage, and he moves like his father, the wind god, as he smashes Dhumraksha's chariot with that huge boulder. Dhumraksha is just in time as he jumps out of his chariot. His gada is raised in his hand. Once Hanuman's rock hits the chariot, everything, the vehicle, its horses, everything is smashed to the ground. But Dhumraksha is on the ground now standing with his mace. Hanuman has used trees and huge branches and unsparingly attacked the other Rakshasas also. Then Hanuman decides to finish this battle. He takes another huge rock and simply smashes Dhumraksha with it. Dhumraksha is flattened and chutneyfied on the ground. Papata sahasa bhumau vikirna iva parvataha Dhumraksham nihatam društva hatashesha nishacharaha trastaha pravivishuhu lankam vadhyamanaha plavangamaihi. He fell down like a big parvata which has been shattered. Dhumraksha has been shattered. The moment the Rakshasas see Dhumraksha has been killed, they have lost their motivation. They are thrustas, they are tormented by these Vanaras, and they decide to run back. They don't want to be killed by the Vanaras. Satu pavana suto nihatya shatrun shachaya vahaha saritascha samvikirya ripu vadha janita shramo mahatma mudam agamat kapibihi supujyamanaha. Thus, after killing Dhumraksha and many other Rakshasas, Hanuman is very tired from his exhaustion of the battle. He crosses the river of blood and goes to the place where all the Vanaras are waiting and doing Jai Jaikar for him, and he feels very pleased that he has served in Sri Rama's mission. Let us now see Sarga number 53 and also Sarga number 54 combined. When the Rakshasas come and tell Ravana that Dhumraksha has been killed in battle by Hanuman, he is very, very upset. Then he calls upon Vajradamshtra. Vajradamshtra is a formidable Rakshasa warrior with many special powers. He says, Vajradamshtra, the time has now come for you to go kill Sri Rama, Sugriva and the entire Vanara army. Valmiki describes the glory of Vajradamshtra's entry into battle in some detail. Nagair ashvaihi kharair rushtraihi samyuktaha susamahitaha pataka dhvaja chitraischa bahubhi samalankritaha tato vichitra keyura mukutena vibhushitaha tanutram cha samavrutya sadhanu nirgyayau dhrutam. Vajradamshtra took his huge army that rode on elephants, horses, donkeys, mules and camels. He was fully equipped with deadly weapons, with flags and festoons being carried by many Rakshasas. He wore a splendid crown studded with gems, and he wore a great armor on his chest. He carried his mighty bow and proceeded quickly into battle. To the accompaniment of war cries and many martial instruments like drums and bugles, punctuating the forward thrust, Vajradamshtra looked forward to a deadly battle. He was sure he would win. There were many terrible, unmistakably evil omens this time also, like it happened to Dhumraksha. But Vajradamshtra did not care. He proceeded. They went to the southern gate where awaited the big Vanara army outside under the leadership of Angada. There are many gory details of how the battle took place and how many were killed. I shall spare you all the details. Whereas Angada resorted to huge trees and rocks and pointedly killed many Rakshasa warriors, Vajradamshtra also had a field day, destroying many Vanaras. Both the well-armed Rakshasas and the very powerful Vanaras were provoked into a battle unto death and attacked one another fiercely. The Mother Earth was strewn with corpses, and animals and men were all dead, and all their broken armor and discarded weapons presented a macabre sight. Vispharya cha darur ghoram shakra shanisam prabham vanaranam anikani prakirat sharavrushtibihi. Vajradamshtra twanged his deadly bow and wielded it as effectively as Indra's thunderbolt. He rained arrows on the Vanara army. Soon the Vanaras started getting the upper hand because they were responding, and the Rakshasas started scattering in fear. Vajradamshtra saw this and he escalated his own killing of the Vanaras. The Vanaras then ran to Angada and pleaded, please protect us. Vajradamstrongadashchobhau yo yudhyete parasparam cheratuhu paramakrudhau harimatta gaja viva. Then there began a direct confrontation between Vajradamshtra and Angada. They fought unto death like a lion king and a tusker elephant in rut. Vajradamshtra shot 100,000 arrows at Angada. Angada threw a huge tree at him, but the Rakshasa was fearless and cut the tree in half with his arrows midway. Then Angada dispatched a huge rock aimed at the foe. But Vajradhamstra jumped in time from his chariot, mace in hand, only to see his chariot and its horses all destroyed. Angada now brought a piece of a mountain itself, with flowering trees on it intact. He released it with such force that the Rakshasa was hit and collapsed. But soon he recovered, and when Angada was not so attentive, Vajradhamstra directed his mace and hit Angada's chest very hard. The two started fighting now with bare fists. Each rained deadly blows on the other. Valmiki says that the battle reminded one of the fight between Kuja and Buddha. Both were spewing blood, both Angada and Vajradhamstra. Angada now brought a tree full of flowers and fruits. He himself looked now like a big tree carrying it. Vajradhamstra attacked him with a glittering sword. Both were untiring and fought with skill and speed. This went on for some time. Valmiki says that at one point both were bleeding all over and looked like the palasha tree with its red flowers. They both had to take a knee owing to fatigue. So both of them rested for a while, head down, bent knees, eyes closed. Suddenly, Angada leapt up in the blink of an eye, and that lethal sword was lying on the ground. He took it and struck Vajradhamstra and cut off his head in one swell swoop. The Rakshasa rolled onto the ground and lay dead. The Rakshasas ran back into Lanka, fearing for their lives. The Vanaras celebrated their triumphant leader, the hero Angada, just like the hero Indra was once celebrated by the Devas after his victory over Danavas. Sri Rama Jayam.